welcome to our latest preview of the Soccer Down Here live tour. I'm Jason Longshore, and we're excited for stop number 2, somewhere that we have not talked to yet, and somewhere that a lot of people were jazzed to hear about us coming to the Lost Druid in Avondale Estates. Let's hear from the Lost Druid. Could you guys introduce yourselves and tell us who you are, what you do in the brewery, titles and such?
Hi, so I'm Stacia, the other half to Rob next to me, and I'm the owner of the Lost Druid, so wear many hats here, primarily managing the front of the house and the kitchen, while Rob is in the back brewing up awesome things. I'll give him a chance to say a little bit more about himself as well.
Hey, I'm Rob, and as Stacia mentioned, I'm in the backside. I run the brewery, so you'll find me hiding behind the glass most of the time. We're both the co-founders. We've been married for almost 25 years, and we decided we wanted to open up a brewery here in Avondale.
Stacia, let me start with you. What was that decision like to open up the brewery? What led you to it, and then what were the things as you decided to open that were important for you to have as part of the Lost Druid?
Well, what led up to it is I'd spent about 20 or so years in corporate positions. I'm an organizational psychologist, so working with large corporations over a couple of decades, and really feeling a little bit burnt out on it, wanting to do something completely different. And as the law was looking like it was going to change in Georgia to allow a brewery to sell direct to a consumer, we started to talk more realistically about, is this something we could do? Could we make this happen? And could we do it on our own and be a small taproom-focused brewery versus a big distribution brewery? So what's been important to me is being in a place that we could have a sense of community. So as we looked at locations, we very much wanted to be around and within a community where there could be a lot of the locals that could easily walk or bike to us, versus having to drive from long distances to get to us. And Avondale has been awesome to us. They've been a great city to work with, and the folks around us have been very welcoming to us.
Rob, when you started on planning what the beers are going to be like, what were the kind of inspirations for you? What were the things that you knew had to be part of the beer offerings at the Lost Druid?
Diversity. That was our key. We didn't want to kind of come in and just be known for one particular style or type of beer. We knew it was a community. I mean, just from the fact of how much I've gone out to different breweries or bars, just seeing what the sample is of beers that are available. I knew that people were going to want more than just, say, an IPA or more than just a stout. So we went into this under the mindset that we weren't going to have any flagships. We were going to constantly come out with new beers. We've done a little over 100 beers in our first year and a half, and that's 100 different beers. We do rebrew beers based on demand. That was kind of one of the big points that we wanted to drive in, is that we weren't going to just brew beer that we thought everybody should be drinking. We wanted to actually understand what our community wanted, rebrew on beers that they really, really want, and then keep introducing them to new beers after that. And then who knows, some of those have led to people wanting those more and more. So we really solicit a lot of feedback from our community. And we, just try to see where some of the trends might be going, but not be too trendy. But at the same time, ensure that we always have European style beers on, light beers, dark beers, easy drinking, big beers. It just, all across the board. And of course, now even seltzer.
It's pretty cool to see that because, I'm not deep into the scene, but one of the things that I think for new people that's been hard to follow is you go to a brewery and it's known for one thing. And you guys sound so unique in that you are, I don't want to say like a bar or a pub, but it kind of has that feel because you have a little bit of everything, but you do it in-house. That feels a little unique in the scene. Is this something that Stacia, for you, when you look around at other breweries, that you wanted to differentiate yourselves with?
Well, I definitely think we want to differentiate ourselves by having the variety that Rob talked about, by always having something new coming on, so that there's always something. So if you were here 2 weeks ago and you come back, you may not have the same beer selections. or something new has popped up so that you can say, ooh, I want to try that. So I think that makes us unique. I think what also makes us unique is that as a brewery, we built an in-house kitchen as well. So we don't offer meals, but we offer shareable plates because, again, getting back to that sense of community, we wanted an environment where people could order a few different things and share it with those folks that they're sitting at the table with as they're sipping on their cold beer. And as Rob said last summer, we also introduced seltzers. And that's important to us because we heard from our customer base that some people were coming in, they have an intolerance to wheat. And so one person in their pair may have wanted to come to a brewery, but the other person, because of an intolerance to wheat, would be like, I don't have anything that I can drink. So I think it fills a gap for some folks and then opens us up to a broader customer base for people to be able to come in and feel comfortable and feel like they can find something to drink.
So when you guys opened, you got a lot of acclaim really quickly, won awards, and then the pandemic hit. I'd love to hear from both of you, like how challenging has it's almost been right at about a year now. How challenging has it been for
it was
a new
year
business?
Yesterday.
Crazy.
Yeah, a year yesterday from when we transitioned completely. It was certainly challenging. We were able to immediately pivot to takeout. We had just gotten a small canning line in place, very manual. And I'd say in the first, maybe 2 months, maybe 2 months, I had done 5,000 cans by hand. So it certainly wasn't a pandemic that kept us out of work. We were extremely busy with that shift. Certainly from a revenue perspective, things dropped just like it did for everybody. But we kind of took the approach of, let's hold out, let's see what's going on. We staggered back in when we decided to open up our patio. We had our patio open for a while before we decided to open up our inside space with more limited seating. We immediately shut down our bar area so people couldn't sit there when we did open up the inside. It's one of those things that you have to always expect the unexpected. I've already learned that since the day we opened, that everything that could go wrong almost the first day went wrong. So having something else thrown at us, we kind of learned very quickly that just take it for what it is at this point and just figure out how to move around it.
I think we were very fortunate in the space that we have and how it was designed because we've got a large outdoor patio out front. We were just able to move the patio tables around to put more space between them. The whole front wall of our building has large garage doors, double glass doors. So we were able to open all that up. So even for the folks that did want to sit inside to kind of escape the heat of summer or the blazing sun of summer, we have lots of airflow within the building, and we were able to just space the tables apart inside. Personally for me, I've been on a roller coaster for the past year. Some days I'm chill, some days I'm stressed, some days I'm freaking out. It all has depended on what the customer flow has been like, what assistance we've been able to get. But this community, we have repeat customers that were diligently coming out, particularly when we were takeout only, once or twice a week to just support. And I know that they were doing that with other local businesses as well. They were kind of like making their circuit because they were saying, we're still employed. We are here to support you all, the small businesses that are trying to make it through all this craziness. And without that customer base,
it really reinforced our decision to build here in Avondale, seeing that kind of outpouring of support.
It's been amazing to hear that story from different people over the last year. And, I've seen it. I've done it where I can, to go out and try to buy local and try to support the people who, are not able to do a normal, day like you guys, had to adjust and had to figure that out. I think another area that I've seen that in is in the soccer community. And there's so much crossover between the soccer community and the craft beer community in the state and this community. How have you guys seen, during your limited time being open in 2019 with a normal season, were you getting crowds for viewing parties for Atlanta United games? Were people coming in asking to see soccer on the TV, stuff like that?
I would say yes, probably not as much as we would have liked, but to the same token, we were fairly new.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that a lot of people knew that. And early on, we didn't even have TVs down in our tap room. We just simply had a 160-inch screen up in our private event space that we would put the United games on. And so we would have people come and they'd kind of hang out up there, provided them with a more closer knit area to sit in. So, you know, being fans of the team, they were able to go into a room that sat about 50 people and watch it on a 160-inch screen. Now, obviously, since that time, we've added 4 TVs down here to put soccer on. We would get quite a few fans that would stop off here that were coming from the eastern part of the city. So, you know, even just outside the perimeter into the Tucker Stone Mountain area and that. And we did start to become a little bit of a spot that people would come hit before they went to the game and then even stop back off after the game for the people out in this area. So that was really nice.
That's very cool. It's two communities that I think in the last year have really found ways to come together even more in this trying time. We're excited to come out and do a live show. I'm excited to sample some of the beer and some of the food that I've been hearing about from so many people. If you were to recommend me what beer I should have next week, if you could do that, tell me what I should try.
Oh, well, there may be a few more beers on next week.
Aha.
So, that may throw a little monkey wrench in the decisions there. I guess my first question for you is, what styles do you typically drink?
I kind of go back and forth. I love Hefeweizen. I love that style, but then when it's cold like it is today and how it's been in the previous weeks, I do like a good stout. I'm not an IPA fan, and I know that puts me in a weird spot right now since that's the popular thing, but I'm not an IPA fan.
I would say, we have 2 beers on that would probably be right there for you. Although we don't have a Hefe on, we are brewing that very shortly, so that one will be coming out. We do have an American wheat ale that we have on.
Okay.
That has a slightly little fruity note to it. That has been extremely popular as things got warmer over the last few weeks. And then if it happens to be a cold day, our classic American porter is a big go-to. That one, we even see those 2 beers kind of transition based on temperature outside or dreariness outside. You see our Hills of Paradise, our American wheat, start selling more as it gets warmer, and as it gets colder or wetter, you see the Claws in the Dark, which is our porter, start kind of selling more.
Excellent. I might have to sample both of those. We're looking forward to it. Thanks for having us, first off, and thanks for allowing us to come out and do a live show.
Looking forward to it.
We're excited to bring some soccer fans out to talk about the upcoming season and get ready for everything. Thanks for opening your doors for us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.